Hi everyone, welcome to English class. How are you doing? Let us deal the remaining part of the lesson in this session. Let us see the overview of this lesson. It consists of reading, working with the text, working with the language, comprehension check, speaking and writing, and the schoolboy. Now let us see what we have in this session. Today in this session we will deal with the speaking and writing, the schoolboy poem, and the working with the poem. By the end of the session, you will be able to identify the qualities that play a major role in climbing mountains, learn the meaning of some new words, describe scenario of climbing Mount Everest, express your own way of climbing Mount Everest, enjoy the poem The Schoolboy, answer the questions under working with the text and working with the language, write your own reflective piece about personal journeys and struggles, write a simple composition on climbing Mount Everest. Coming to the speaking and writing activity, there is a task given for us, that is to write a composition, and the task is write a composition describing your visit to hills or any place which you found beautiful and inspiring. Before writing, work in small groups, sit with your friend, discuss the points given below and decide if you want to use some of these points in your composition. You may consider these sentences. Mountains are means of communion with God. Think of the act of worship or prayer. You believe yourself to be in the presence of the divine power. In a way, you are in communion with that power. And imagine a climber on top of the summit, the height attained, limitless sky above, the climber's last ounce of energy spent, feelings of gratitude, humility, and peace. You have to consider all these things while writing your composition. The majesty of mountains does bring you close to nature, and the spirit and joy that lives there, if you have the ability to feel it. Now, after writing the composition, you may read it in the class for the entire class. Okay. Coming to the poem section, this poem, The Schoolboy, is written by William Blake. He highlights the importance of a happy childhood and the negative impact that a restrictive and unhappy environment such as school can have on a child's development. It also emphasizes the role of a parent in nourishing their children's happiness and freedom. Overall, the poem is a call to prioritize the well-being and happiness of the children in our society. Now, children, listen and enjoy to the poem and try to get the meaning of the poem.
The schoolboy. I love to rise in a summer morn when the birds sing on every tree. The distant huntsman winds his horn and the skylark sings with me. Oh, what sweet company! But to go to school in a summer morn, oh, it drives all joy away. On a rock cruel I outworn, the little ones spend the day. in sighing and dismay. Oh, then at times I drooping sit and spend many an anxious hour, nor in my book can I take delight, nor sit in learning's bower, worn through with the dreary shower. How can a bird that is born for joy sit in a cage and sing? How can a child when fears annoy but droop his tender wing and forget his youthful spring? Oh, father and mother, if buds are stripped and blossoms blown away, and if the tender plants are stripped of their joy in the springing day, by sorrow and care's dismay, how shall the summer arise in joy, or the summer fruits appear?
Have you all enjoyed the poem? Now let us see the glossary of the poem. There are three words given. The first one, nipped. To nip something in the bud is to stop or destroy it at an early stage of its development. The second one, stripped. It is the short form of the word stripped. And the third one, plants stripped of joy. If joy is taken away from the plants. Now let us answer these small questions which are given under working with the poem. There are 4 questions given. Let us answer them. The first question. Find 3 or 4 words or phrases in stanza 1 that reflect the child's happiness and joy. For that the answer is the words and phrases that reflect the child's happiness and joy are the first one, I love to race in a summer morn. And the second one, the skylark sings with me. And the third, oh, what a sweet company. Second question. In stanza 2, the mode changes. Which word or phrase reflect the changed mode? For that the answer, the words or phrases that reflect the change of mode and tone in stanza 2 are drives all joy away, cruel eye outworn, and the third, in sighing and dismay. Now coming to the third question, a cruel eye outworn from stanza 2 refers to, is it 1, the classroom which is shabby and noisy, or 2, the lessons which are difficult or uninteresting, or is it 3, the dull or uninspiring life at school with lots of work and no play? What might be the answer? Come on, guess, children. Yes, it is the third one, the dull and uninspiring life at school with lots of work and no play. Coming to the fourth one, nor sit in the learning's bower, worn through with the dairy shower. Which of the following is a close paraphrase of the lines above? Is it 1, nor can I sit in a roofless classroom when it is raining? Or is it 2, nor can I learn anything at school, though teachers go on lecturing and explaining? Or is it 3? Nor can I sit in the school garden for fear of getting wet in the rain. So what is the answer? Can you guess? Yes, you are right. Nor can I sit in the school garden for fear of getting wet in the rain. Yes, you are right. Now children, here is an interesting task for you. There is a poem there. You read the poem silently and compare it with the schoolboy poem. I'll give you 2 minutes. You can pause it and you can read it and compare with the schoolboy poem. Yes, have you read the poem? Here, the schoolboy, the poet portrays a schoolboy who dislikes attending school and prefers the summer mornings listening to the sweet birds. He finds the school to be a tedious and unengaging. He compares his experience in school to that of a bird in a cage, unable to blossom and being stifled. The sorrow he experiences at school is like being nipped in the bud. In contrast, the one furrow is about a young boy who initially enjoys going to school and would happily carry his school supplies. However, as he grows older, he loses the peace of mind he once had at school. He finds solace and tranquility in farming and nature, which is why he returns to it. Have you enjoyed? Yeah. This is the end of the lesson, The Summit Within. Now let us see an important item in English, that is a modal verb. What is a modal verb and how it is used? Modal verbs are a type of auxiliary verbs or helping verbs, we call them, that are used to indicate modality, which refers to the speaker's attitude towards the action or state expressed by the main verb. Examples of modal verbs include can, could, may, might, must, shall, should, will, and would. Modal verbs can be broadly divided into some types. Those include the ability, and the words come under ability is can and could. If you want to give an example for that, John can speak English fluently. Here the word can suggests that John can do something, and it is the ability of John that he can speak English fluently. And coming to the second one, Jaspi can solve problems without mistakes. It is the ability of Jaspi that to solve problems without mistake. And next one is permission, and the words that come under permission are can, could, and may. If you want to ask a permission, we can include these words. Can I go out, sir? Could I take my book? And the next one is, may I come in, sir? The next type is advise, and the words come under advise or should. If you want to give advice to someone, you have to use should. You should do exercise regularly. You should bring your dictionary regularly. And the next one is obligation, and the words under obligation are must and have to. For the examples, I must watch the lessons on tab daily. You have to take off your shoes before you go into a temple. And the next one, possibility. The modal verbs that come under possibility may, might, could, and can. It may rain tonight. We may expect relatives today. Now let's just look at the picture and answer this simple question. The question, write a sentence using modal verb of ability with the help of the picture. Now you can write any sentence using a modal verb of ability. The answer, I can swim. You can write different answers for that. Now let's see the next one. Now let's see how to ask permissions using a modal verb, and there are two ways in which we can ask permissions, the formal and the informal one. Formal means asking permissions to officials, and informal asking questions or permissions for our friends or relatives. Now let's see the informal one, and we can use can here. A permission, can I borrow your pencil? Can I speak to the headmaster? These are informal ways. And coming to the formal one, may should be used here. May I ask a doubt? May we go out now? Now answer this simple question by looking at the picture. The question is, can you frame a formal question using may? The girl is raising her hand. May I? Yes. May I go to the restroom, please? Or you can write your own question here. Now let us see modal verbs for asking permissions, and that too in a polite way. We can use could here. Could you please pass on the book? Could I open the window? And we can also use would. Would you mind if I ask you something? Would you go with me? With this we come to the end of this modal verbs. There is an assignment for you. You write some questions using modal verbs which you can use in your classroom. Okay, children? Okay, children. Now let us see the important part of speech, that is adjectives and adverbs. These two are essential part of speech that modify and describe the word in different ways. While adjectives modifies nouns and adverbs modifies verbs. Adjectives or other adverbs. Understanding how to change adjectives to adverbs is crucial in mastering English grammar and improving writing and speaking skills. So let us know some rules behind converting adjectives to adverbs. Rule number 1. Adjectives and adverbs. How to change adjectives to adverbs. Just add ly to the adjective. We have to add ly to the adjectives. By adding ly to the adjectives, we can get an adverb. For example, peaceful. If we add ly to that, we get peacefully. Peaceful is an adjective and peacefully is an adverb. And here are more examples. Quite, quietly. We have added ly here. And slow, slowly. Quick plus ly, that gives quickly. Bad plus ly, that gives badly. Calm, calmly. This is the rule number 1. And what is the rule number 1? Adding ly to the adjectives gives adverb. That is rule number 1. Now coming to the second rule. Adjectives ending with e, we have to drop e and add y there. So if an adjective is ending with the letter e, we should drop that e and add y to that one. For example, simple. Here the adjective simple is ending with the letter e. We have to drop this e and add y here. And it comes simply. Terrible. E is dropped there and we are adding y there, and we get terribly. Able. E dropped and y added, and we get ably. Gentle, gently. Responsible, responsibly. And there is an exception for this rule, and we have to know what it is. For some adjectives ending with e, we should add ly. Let us see what those words are. Entire, we should add entirely, and the spelling should be ly. We should not drop e there, but we should add ly. Sure, surely. Extreme, extremely. And the adjective is ending with e. Even though it is ending with e, we are not dropping it, or we are not deleting it, but we are adding ly to it. Fortunate, fortunately. Absolute, absolutely. And coming to the rule number 3. The rule number 3 is, if an adjective is ending with y, we should drop that y and add illy. For example, heavy, Here the word is ending with Y, and we should drop that Y and add I-L-Y. Heavy, heavily. And easy, we are dropping this Y and adding ILY here. Easily. Happy, happily. Angry, angrily. Lucky, luckily. Now coming to the fourth rule, that is adjectives ending with L. We have to add ly. Examples: usual, usually. There is one L there and we are adding another L and Y. General, one L is there, we are adding ly to it. Generally. Hopeful, hopefully. Careful, carefully. Beautiful, beautifully. Coming to the last rule, that is adjectives ending with IC. We have to add ALLY. Let us see some examples. Tragic, tragically. We are adding ALLY. Basic, BASIC, and we are adding ALLY. Basically. Energetic, energetically. Dramatic, dramatically. With this we come to the end of this session. Thank you for watching.